Hello and welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to talk about a new series I will be creating called The Experience of. It's basically my take on reviews with a focus on how games do or don't create a certain feeling or experience within the player. So, as you guessed, this video is about Diablo 4 and specifically Season 3, the Season of the Construct. Having played about 20 plus hours of the season so far, finishing the main story quest, which was brilliant by the way, complemented by great boss design in which the player needs to manage their abilities with a static boss who throws projectiles and does area of effect moves. Think some raid bosses in World of Warcraft. I thought it was fantastic, something that the team should be really proud of, and something I hope to see more of in future seasons. However, that one step forward is accompanied by two big steps back with the pets and the vaults. I'm gutted to say I left my experience over the past few days very underwhelmed and honestly a little confused. Now, to put things into perspective a bit, for me, Diablo games have three main purposes. 1. A power fantasy and a class fantasy. I want to rock a fire sorcerer where I can destroy hundreds of enemies with a giant wall of fire, or be a druid where I can summon wolves and fight by their side as a bear. 2. I call Diablo the perfect bedtime game. Let's face it, it's not hard. You don't need to learn complex rotations of a boss or learn how to no-scope. You come in after work, get your gaming joggers on, get some food and a drink, and know that you're going to demolish wave after wave of enemies with a few buttons. It's almost cathartic and peaceful. Point 3. Progression. Simply put, Diablo as a game needs to make me want to wake up and turn it on, rather than the thousands of other games out there. This for me are the fundamental elements of Diablo and why I enjoy my time playing the game from Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. So why was I confused and underwhelmed with Season 3? Well, if we go back to my three pillars, the power and class fantasy, I was super excited for the idea of having a pet. I think it's a great idea after the Season 1 heart and the Season 2 vampiric powers. I mean, I have a dog, they're great, he's full of character, runs around, barks, picks up sticks, does the odd trick. The pet in Diablo doesn't display any of these visual or audible notes. It's easy to forget they even exist when you ignite an entire room with flame wall or constantly charging with your barb around the map. The pet, and therefore the game, needs to make the player feel like the pet matters in action moments. Visual abilities that we can see and hear. Think laser beams of magic, leaping on targets, or even a charge. Then give the pet a use to help the player outside of combat. Fetch potions, pick up gold on the floor, or do random tricks while idling in the town. Simply put, after getting your pet, there is zero worthwhile progression to care about. And it's such a shame. The ceiling for creativity and emotion that this mechanic could have created would have been amazing for the community and Diablo 4 as a franchise. It's a real shame that it's hardly even an afterthought after adding a couple of runes, e.g. plus damage. The next addition was the vaults. Vaults are confusing to me because they completely contradict the pillars of Diablo. Again, going back to that power and class fantasy, the main mechanic of the vaults are traps. There are traps on the map to make you stop and pretend you're playing some sort of bad platforming segment, all while not doing anything but waiting a few seconds for the floor panels to switch so you can move or ignore completely with teleport. Remember Pillar 2? Chilled gaming? Traps are by design annoying. They just are. It's their whole point. I want to go into a room and spam my 1, 2, 3, 4 rotation on a bunch of enemies, watch them die, feel satisfied while eating some pizza, and then have a little pre-dessert of disappointment that I haven't got a Shaco after 300 hours. And then progression. This was skipped, or I don't understand what it is. Clear a vault without getting hit by a trap. Done. What is it now? Time to go back to just normal nightmare dungeons? The flow is much smoother. I'm actually killing enemies. Season 2 was a great example of how the D4 team got this right. You go kill some vampires, they get mad, so obviously you go kill some more. Then they get even more mad. Then they're like, right, we need to do something about the player. And they start coming after you, creating this mini thriller-esque movie-like event in the game. but you are in control of that progression, and you are rewarded for getting through the end through battle. The vaults could have been a wave after wave of construct coming at the player from different sides of the vault, and based on how many waves you killed, your pet shields you and teleports you out of the vault, while the pet drops all the fat loot there is to pick up. This would also make the pet a bit more useful and interactive with the player, synergizing the pet and vaults. So how much experience did I get from this season? I feel like the journey created specifically on the season mechanics were a little disappointing based on the toys the D4 team were playing with. The pet didn't really deliver on the fantasy of having one, and the vaults are just annoying more than fun or feeling like you progressed. The stones are just another version of the malignant hearts from season 1, sock it and forget. I really hope that the D4 team take the community feedback on board and continue to learn and build on the successes they're seeing, aka mostly season 2. I hope and want them to succeed going forward. The main story quest was great, with a much needed addition of a different type of boss encounter, and outside of the seasonal stuff, the class balancing changes are always taking a step in the right direction, with multiple new builds emerging and being viable. My thoughts on Diablo 4 Season 3. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.